Welcome, guys. In the neighborhood, I am Johnny Noriega. I am here today with Veronica Dorado. Veronica, thank you so much for coming on. I know you have a very busy schedule. Thanks for fitting me in. How's it going?
It's going great. Couldn't complain. I'm happy, super excited to be here and to be here with everyone that is listening.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to be giving you guys some good tips whether you're buying or selling a home. The market right now is red hot.
It's hot.
Would you agree?
Yes.
Super hot. And we want to give you guys some good advice, big or small, if you knew it already, or maybe go into more detail about this information. Before we dive into that, though, Veronica, I want to kind of our listeners or viewers give a little bit of a kind of a get to know you. Tell me a little bit about yourself, the company you work for. Let's start there.
Okay, yeah, my name is Veronica Dorado. I work out of Radical Realty in Elmhurst. I have been in business for close to 5 years now, and I love every day of it. I see work not as work because it's a true dear passion of mine now. So for me to work on weekends, it's no problem because I love what I do. It's so exciting and so fulfilling to help out so many families reach their reach their real estate dreams. And yeah, I love taking care of people, and I am 100% dedicated to my clients and providing the best service that I could provide.
Awesome. Give me an insight. So walk me through year one in the real estate business, because I remember my first year, right? Versus, let's say, year 5. What are two main differences that you see that maybe how you work with clients or things that you've learned to perfect? Because from personal experience, my first year, I was like, this way, that way, trying to have everything in order. Obviously, no one knows you your first year.
Yes.
So throughout those first years, what's been the biggest thing that you've taken away from it?
So I think the first years were awesome because they taught me a lot. I got put in lots of crazy, difficult situations. So I have taken that experience. And now with my current clients, no object is too hard to overcome. I look at all these tests that we encounter as, it's just a speed bump. There's always a solution. So let's push through and let's try to make this the smoothest transaction ever. Buying a house could be stressful, and I don't like stress on individuals because if I put myself in anyone's position, I wouldn't want to be in the same way. So I just try to make this as smooth as a process possible so we could achieve the next goal and just move on from there because we don't want to waste time on stress. Let's just focus on getting you your home and then continue and live life. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Just live life and let's everybody be happy and move on.
It's a good model. It's a good model to have. And like you said, it is a stressful process, right?
Yes.
So buying a home isn't like you're gonna go and pick out a shirt.
Definitely.
Or
it could be
toy for the
difficult.
kid.
Yes.
It's a huge step, a lot of moving parts, and having the right team around you is what's gonna make it either a wonderful, a little less stressful experience, or a very difficult, rocky to the very end. You might still close, but you'll never want to do it again.
Yes, definitely.
So let's talk about buyers for a second. So,
Yes.
Normally the process goes, someone wants to buy a house. The first stop is normally the lender. You want to get pre-approved.
Yes.
You want to get your ducks in a row. We have an initial consultation. We look at your income, your debt, your credit score. All these initial documents come in, and then I call you and say, Veronica, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer are ready to go. Here's the pre-approved letter. What are the next steps for someone that's, looking to maybe already pre-approved or looking to get pre-approved? And what's that process look like for being out there and making offers and buying?
Yes. So as soon as we have the pre-approval, I will go ahead and set up a search for you right away. And what we look at is price range, tax range. We look at the school districts if it's important for someone. And basically, I try to punch in every single piece of criteria that you need. Some people prefer a 3-car garage, 2-car garage, whatever the needs are, we try to find that house. And as soon as we pick out some properties that, meet your criteria, we will set up a showing as soon as possible, and we will go and take a look at all those properties. So one important thing is not to be stressful. At first, some people right away, they want to pick like the first house they see, but I don't recommend that. It's such a big investment that you need to be wise and take your time and really evaluate the house and the condition it's in and location, so you don't regret your purchase. So I just focus on that, just finding the right home that will suit you and will keep you happy for the next 20 years. And if you have to move, you might miss that old house. So yeah, that's the goal. We just set up a search, look, and when we find it, we will make an offer. And from there, we'll negotiate everything from the inspection to the appraisal sometimes to the closing table.
Awesome. You talked about, expectations as far as what they're looking for, the number of bedrooms, the number. I'm curious, have you ever had like a very out of the box, okay, the house has to have this before I want to?
Yes. And that's another thing. From setting up that search, you will see and feel exactly what you can afford. Because, everybody wants the mansions, the in-ground pool, and the nice, man cave in the basement. But sometimes we can't have it all. So we have to pick out what's really important. And sometimes, schools tend to be what's important, or location because of work.
Okay.
So we just sit down and we have to be smart and pick out what is the best for you and your family.
Awesome. And that's you touched on a really good point, that when it comes to looking at your options, you definitely want to compare one or two or even three different homes, because a lot of the times especially when you're dealing with first-time buyers, aside from like family friends homes, when they walk into these properties, these are properties they've never been into, that they're not going to see themselves living in the property, and for them to make a decision like this is the one, right?
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe from time to time that happens where you walk in your first one and you hit the lottery.
Definitely.
But the last thing you want to do is, man, should I have looked at a different?
Yes. You start doubting yourself. I mean, sometimes I have encountered that situation where the person wants to see the first house they see ever and then not want to see other ones, but I don't even recommend it. I don't feel comfortable letting them make an offer, because like I said, it's a big investment, and we don't want to make any mistakes with this type of investment.
Yeah. No, that's great. So let's switch gears. Let's talk about sellers, right? So also, Veronica not only is out there helping buyers and get, into their first, second investment property home, we're also helping sellers as well, right? So you're able to list, that current home that they have. And right now, the spring summer market is I imagine it's a really good.
Yes.
It's a really good.
Yes.
And just for anyone that's hears these terms, summer market, it's hot. Like, what do you mean by that? As far as
Okay, so majority of homes start getting listed in April. That's when people are getting closer to when the kids are out of school, and that's when people want to move because it's nice and warm, and we don't have to move when it's 5 below. Right. So majority of the activity for sales of homes does happen in summer and in spring. That being so if you list your house during this time right now, if you price it correctly, they're selling fast. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they'll sell on the first day.
What's the fastest? The first day?
Sometimes on the first day.
Really?
Yes. It just depends on the house, the location, and of course your price. Because if you overprice it, it will drag your house on the market. So we always recommend, we want to list at market value, but a little bit higher, just to leave some room for negotiation. And when you price your house correctly, you tend to get multiple offers. Right. So lots of people think, it's hot right now. It's seller's market, which means, the seller tends to be in his favor in the negotiations. But in reality, you still have to market your house appropriately. That's what I recommend. I recommend, once again, sitting down, doing the numbers, and doing what is wise.
Yeah. And I think part of it, too, is going to be, like you said, good location, good area. Now, let's talk about the condition of the home. So if I'm looking to sell my home, is there like a checklist that I could look at or something? Obviously, I'm calling you and we're setting the listing appointment, but when you first walk into their home, what are the first things you're looking at? Like, okay, this has to go. Like, what do you look at right away for the home?
Okay, so I tend to split a house into two parts. One is the bones, the structure, the important stuff like the roof, the heating and cooling, the plumbing, electrical. Those are big, major expenses for a new buyer. And lots of people look into that because they're big expenses. So if your roof has missing shingles or is leaking from somewhere, then sometimes I recommend, you know what, it's better to get a new roof done, even if you have to go through the insurance sometimes. And it gives the buyer a better feel and more comfortable, should say, to buy the house, because those are big expenses that are just brand new. Same with the heating and cooling. If the AC is 30 years old, barely alive, then maybe we could do a warranty, or maybe just replace it just to sell the home a little bit quicker. The second part of the house is all the cosmetic stuff. So like the paint. Do we have neutral colors? Are the bathrooms, are they pretty nice? Are they super nice? Or are they just like, I'm gonna need to replace this toilet and this vanity right away because I don't want to use that. Yeah. So it just depends on the house. If I see the house that it's really nice it's super clean, everything's been updated, but it just needs a new roof, okay, let's worry about the roof. But if the house needs paint, especially with those crazy bold colors that just people run away from, then yeah, we got to tend to that. If you have pets and it smells really nasty inside, we got to take care of that too, because people don't like smelly, stinky houses.
You know what? I didn't know what that meant, because again, my family for the longest time never had any pets, right?
Yeah.
I think the only pet we had was like in grade school. We did like a science project with like little guppies, like little fishes.
Okay.
And then at the end of the experiment, we got to take them home.
Yeah.
And most of my classmates, theirs died like within like a few weeks.
Yeah.
But mine started having babies and babies. I think I went like a year and a half.
Are you serious? Wow.
I think I had like 5 or 6
generations. You fed it really good then.
And then you know how they all died?
How?
So my brother tried to help and then washed the bowl. And I don't know if he left like some
soap, maybe?
And then I come home and they're all like,
they were floating. Terrible.
Anyway, as far as like, so pets, not really, right? In my home.
Yes.
So when it came to, sometimes I help out with like open houses and stuff. So I walk into places where people have like 2-3 dogs, cats or whatever. Yeah. You could really it's a very distinct smell.
Sometimes you can smell it. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie to you. I've showed up to houses and I haven't even opened the door and I could already smell it, and it's a big turn off. Yeah. People they don't even want to walk in. So yeah, sometimes it's an issue. We just have to address it. Yeah. Same with the cigarette smell.
Smokers.
Smokers out there, lots of people don't smoke anymore. So yeah, it's a big turn off too.
Vape.
Yeah.
Well, vape.
I don't know if that leaves a smell or not.
I think the vape doesn't stick, but yeah, no, cigarettes for sure is a big thing too. So, but yeah, all that together will make for a smooth, fast sale.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the last thing you want to do is, if you are looking to sell, which most of the time, if you're selling it, your plan is to maybe buy something else. And there'll be times where, I sit down with the client and I say, okay, you need to sell the home before you can buy your income can't hold both mortgages. So the longer it sits there on the market, the longer that you're waiting to actually buy it. And sometimes that makes or break an offer, right? Like if
definitely.
You extend an offer, you say, hey, we have to close. We don't have a buyer yet. Can you wait? Sometimes.
No. So it gets challenging when you're trying to sell and buy a home at the same time. So many cards have to come into play and be in the perfect position. So yes, definitely it helps if we get the house ready to sell. So, it sells faster, and that goes along with pricing and condition of the house. If everything is okay, then it tends to sell pretty quickly. But if you're trying to buy and then you have like 4 cats in the house with 3 litter boxes, it might take a little bit longer to sell, unfortunately. But yeah, those are things we have to address. And usually when we sit down the first time, I will, give you some hints of what we could do to, make this a faster sell.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think that's key, is setting those expectations up front. Anyone out there that's looking to buy or sell, anytime you sit down with either one of us, the expectations are laid out. Like, this is what we need, this is what we expect from you, and then this is what we offer.
Yes.
And I want to touch on something very important, that the more years I'm in the business, the more I see different scenarios of is cost, right?
Cost,
so when
yes.
it comes to you as either let's start with the buyer, right? So for the buyer and someone that's out there trying to find home, and you're out there showing them, what's the fee that the client has to pay you for you to show them, let's say, 2 houses or 6 houses or 10 houses? What's the fee for them?
Yes. So for the buyer, for me to drive around and do showings, I do not charge. So the seller will pay my commission. So it's completely free to use my services for any buyer. And we always recommend to use a realtor because, again, we have years of experience, and that experience is to protect you in any situation, so we don't put you in a bad situation that later on, you'll have to file for bankruptcy or anything like that. So we just try to really take care of you and make this process easier and more efficient for you.
It's the same on the lending end. So with my clients, sometimes I'm their first stop when it comes to getting pre-approved. Sometimes I'm their second or third. And you hear it all, right? You hear like, oh, I was charged to run my credit, for $1. I was charged, and I just kind of cringe because it kind of, at the end of the day, to each their own. But you shouldn't pay for something like that, right? So as far as even if they see 1 house or 10 houses, or if I'm, the initial pre-approval consultation and we're talking, I call my clients, email, I even text, right? Nowadays,
Yes.
everybody sends text messages, and it's all about making them feel comfortable, less pressured, less hurried, and at the end of the day, whether it's your loan officer or your buyer's agent that's out there like Veronica, there is zero cost to you. Now, at the end, you'll have your down payment, your closing costs, and in the initial consultation, send me a message and we'll get an appointment together and look into your down payment, closing costs. A lot of first-time buyer programs out there that will help. But as far as any money directly to either one of us, it's never a dime. So that's good, because it kind of gives them the peace of mind that, all right, again, already stressful as it is, let's keep it a little bit less stressful.
Yes.
I want to kind of dive into a different direction here with you.
Okay.
So it looks like you've been in the business for a while, and I'm sure in the real estate business, you've seen hundreds of homes.
Yes.
And you've gotten ideas of your own home.
Yes.
And I know this, and the reason I know this is because of Snapchat, right?
Yes.
You're doing some rehab, some remodeling. Tell me about that. What's that looking like?
Yeah, so I bought this home and it needs work. I'm not gonna lie, but I love rehabbing homes. I love taking, the very ugly and turning it into the wow beautiful. So yeah, we're doing a complete gut job on the bathroom.
From start to finish?
Yeah, from start to finish.
Okay.
Everything's gonna be gutted. Everything's gonna be brand new, nice and very nice. I'm super excited. The whole family's super excited.
Yeah.
And so I like to see houses, and I like to describe to my buyers the potential that each house has, because sometimes even knocking down a little wall could open up the space so much. I have that vision, and thanks to Property Brothers, I got addicted to
shout
it.
Out to
so
Property
yes,
Brothers.
Thank you, Property Brothers. So
sure.
Definitely, I love watching when my clients buy a house and then they send me the after picture, it's just amazing to see the full potential that they give to a space.
Yeah, that's awesome too. Yeah, at the end of the day, once it's your home, you make it your own.
Yes.
And I think that's the great thing about owning versus renting.
Yes.
Is that you don't have to get permission. You don't have to, have all these restrictions. If you want to knock a wall down, knock a wall down.
Yes.
If you want to put some paint up, if you want to, put some stuff up on the walls,
Yep.
you have the freedom to do that. And
Yes.
and little nuances like that
Yes.
you take for granted when you own a property versus when you're renting.
True.
And that's huge. So I think at the end of the day, whether they're looking for their first home or their second home, their investment property, I think that feeling stays with them throughout the entire process. But that's pretty neat, though. A complete. Now, are you guys still? It's livable, I assume, right?
We
just
live
taking
in
it
there. We're just updating it. Yeah, we're starting with one bathroom. Hopefully, it'll be done this week, and next week we'll do the other bathroom. And then, yeah, I'm going to do the kitchen and work on a basement later and the exterior as well. So, yeah, we're really going to make it a wow.
Do the girls get a say on, like, the colors?
Yeah,
or, like, the
yeah,
but
they go out there, of course. They want everything
Orange.
shiny and glittery. But,
yeah.
but again, when you still do a rehab, you still have to keep it sort of neutral so that when you sell and if you sell, you know, the common buyer will like it.
That's interesting. Because, again, if you're going to live in it for... You're like, I'm not leaving here for another 10 years. Then it's like, hey, if you want to do orange.
Yes.
But if you know, like, hey, maybe the next year or so I'm going to buy it, maybe we should flip that orange to, you know. Like
or if something happens, you know, situations changes, people get married and then they have to sell. So, yeah, sometimes when you do your rehab, you have to keep it neutral just to save yourself money in the long term, too.
That's awesome. Awesome. Now, when it comes to your clients, your past clients, when it comes to the new business that comes in, are you getting... You find yourself getting more referral based or marketing or a little bit of both, or what's like your niche when it comes to
so I depend heavily on warm market, which is people that I know, friends and family, of course, and then from there I do what is called tap rooting. So I try to ask them if they know anybody else, so I could help them out too. Sometimes it's majority of people, whenever they want a service, whether it's plumbing or electrician or whatever, you always ask for a referral. You go to Yelp review for a referral. Everybody looks for a referral just for the fact of saying, oh, this person knows this person through this situation. It makes it a little bit warmer and closer. So yeah, I love it because then, you know, I work with my friends' families and stuff like that. So it just makes it a whole lot of more fun.
It's almost like the trust level is like you get shot up to the very top.
Yes, definitely.
If you get like a friend or family that kind of speaks your name and they come in knowing nothing about you, just the fact that you did a really good job with my cousin or my friend or my coworker, and now that same so now the pressure's on you. Got to make sure you got to
take care of everyone.
You repeat the process the same way. So you know, and when every buyer, every profile is different, that's where I believe the good from the great gets separated, because you know, I always say this to everyone: anyone can close someone with like 850 credit score, you know, 100,000 in the bank, 20% down, you know, everything ready to go on the first consultation. But it's the ones that, you know, you got to put in a little bit more work, a little bit more time, a little bit more effort. That in the long run, I think will kind of sprout more referrals. So very good advice for, you know, a lot of professionals out there, agents and loan officers that, you know, even though we're busy, even though it's a hot market, you take your time with the, you know, with the difficult ones, and not difficult like people are difficult, but difficult situations.
Yeah,
so like your work history or like your credit score, or like, you know, we've had people that we've had to, okay, you know, you're not ready now.
Come back in a year, 2 years, yes.
And that's an important thing to know about the process, is that it's better to know where you are and find like a roadmap to get pre-approved than to never find out. Because I've had clients that come in and they're like, you know what, I've been thinking about it for 6 months. I don't think I'm ready, but you know, my cousin told me to give you a call, so here I am. And an hour later, looking through their documents, they're ready to go.
Yes.
And they're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, you were ready.
They don't believe it.
And they're like, okay, let's do it. And then, but I've also had situations where we look at the situation, I'm like, you know what? You do A, B, C, and D, and then in 3 months, you'll be good.
Yes.
Or in 6, or sometimes, let's say they have something big like a bankruptcy, you know, in 12 months, you'll be ready. But at least now they have that pathway, because not knowing is just more difficult.
Definitely. And I love that you brought that up, because I just got done with one of my clients. So I've been working on him and his credit, and you know, he's an immigrant, so he came here opening his business. So I got in touch with him over 4 years ago. He was one of my first clients to find a rental, and now we finally did a purchase. So it took 4 years to set him up to be where he needs to be to buy. But, you know, it's a blessing. But, you know, for everyone, you could think that, you know, it's going to be impossible. But you know what? There is no impossible. Everything could be done. There's a solution to everything. We just got to find it. So if you're out there and your credit is low, or you've had a bankruptcy, you know what? We don't mind sitting with you and going over your situation and putting you like in a plan so you could be ready and whatever amount of time it takes. But yeah, we're here for you in the long run, and we're very patient. That's why I love working with Johnny, because he's so patient and he's just on top of things, and he works with a great team. So that just makes it easier to get, stay in touch and keep everything in progress.
Shout out to Johnny Noriega.
And team.
The guy is great. And team, of course.
And team.
Can't forget the team. Can't forget the team. But no, I think at the end of the day, that's what is key of being a successful, loan officer or real estate agent.
Yes.
Is you put all those pieces together, and I might not be a credit specialist, right? But I do have a referral for a credit specialist. I might not, be an attorney where you need some help with, like a foreclosure, short sale, DK, but I can refer you to one.
Definitely,
I'm sure,
definitely,
we can
yes.
as well. So, but the first step, again, guys, choose, a DM or a message, and we'll get you that information. Again, whether you're ready now, in 6 months or a year from now, we'll get that information. Do you ever get downtime? Do you ever get leisure? I know you're a mom, you're a wife, a realtor.
No, okay, so I live a pretty crazy life. Yeah. So I'm so used to it though. Where I'm always up and the go. I really don't watch TV. I don't have time to watch TV.
What's your normal wake up time? Let's start there.
Oh my God!
What time does that alarm go off?
Okay, so it depends. If the kids are in school, it's 5:45 or 6, and then it's crazy. Get up, get ready. Yeah. But right now I'm lucky. I'm sleeping until 6:30 or 7. Okay. So I'm so happy right now.
6:30 and 7 is sleeping in.
Yes, that's awesome.
For someone with no kids, that's a little confusing to me. But I guess with being a mom and all
definitely,
that, that's okay.
Yeah, but last night I was literally emailing my client at 12:30 at night, setting up showings. So yeah, if I'm available, I'll work. I have no problem working, even if it's Sundays. I don't care. I love to work.
Yeah, and one thing I learned quickly in the business is that you don't take weekends off.
Yeah.
Right? Because weekends are your prime spot where the majority of people are off, the majority of people are out there looking, putting in offers.
Yes.
So you have to be
Yes,
ready.
you have to be available. And that's one reason why I love working with Johnny, because he's available on the weekends. So if a question comes up for lending, is this house, will it pass the FHA? Or I have a simple lending question, he is available on the weekends. That's when most people are available to do showings anyway. So Johnny's great at that. His availability is there, and same as mine. So yeah, we just make a great team because, we're dedicated 100% to this field.
I like it. And people sometimes are surprised that we get them that answer that fast. They're
you're working today.
I thought I was going to wait a week. I didn't know you took calls this late. But again, I think it's part of it, and the way I'll share a little bit about my schedule is, yes, we work 7 days, but it's not like we're working 8, 9, 10 hours shifts,
a day. Yeah, definitely.
Which is different from a regular 9 to 5 office job too, where we might be trucking along 7 days, but maybe on a Monday you work a solid legit 7, 8, 9, 10 hour days, but then on a Tuesday maybe 3-4 hours, and then you have a couple appointments, and then but then Wednesday it's back on Thursday. So I think that flexibility works well, especially with being a mom and having that being pulled in different directions. I'm sure it's tough, and me myself, I don't have kids or anything, but I like to have your
own time, of course.
I like to joke around and say that the reason why I'm available is because I have no life, but I have a life. I have a,
you do.
I hang out here and there. You've seen my Snapchats, right? I think we both know I have a life. But okay, so you don't watch TV. Okay, you have a TV, I assume.
I have a TV, one TV, yes.
It doesn't get turned on. Okay, we got that. You travel though? You like to travel, or?
I wish I had more time for it, but my goal is I do little mini trips here and there. I have family both in Mexico and Cali, so I like going out there. I love Cali; it's just gorgeous out there.
What part of Cali?
Pasadena.
Pasadena.
Yeah, Pasadena. Which is right by
Dr. Dre song.
But I love traveling, especially road trips. Just I like going anywhere where there's mountains. It's just very different from Chicago and the Chicagoland area, because there's barely any hills here.
Yeah, it's all flat terrain over here.
Yeah, and I love the ocean. Yeah. I've been to Cancun and all those beaches. So yeah, definitely, it's a nice change. But yeah, I'm definitely a Chicago girl. So yeah, born and raised. So yeah, it's gonna be really hard to pull me out of here.
So are you more comfortable in the city life or the burb life, or what's?
Well, I think now I've gotten so used to the suburbs, but yeah, I did grow up in Chicago, and we moved over to the suburbs. But I'm more okay with the suburban life, obviously, because I got kids now, and it's just I'm usually done and tired late evening, so I just want to relax. So I mean, I love the suburbs too. Different lifestyle. Everybody has a different lifestyle, but I like both. Yeah.
I agree. And what part of Mexico do you have family in?
They are all from a little state called Zacatecas.
Zacatecas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If I'm picturing the map, where is that?
It's sort of like right next to. It's a couple hours from Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like maybe 4 or 5 hours away.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you go, I assume you fly then?
Yes, definitely fly, and I have all my grandparents, all 4 of them, still living,
Really?
kicking and
Awesome.
breathing. So
Awesome.
gotta go visit. Family is important, of course, and I think it's the same thing for anyone. So I definitely value families, and making those kids happy in whatever way form. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, do you have a big family, or is it just?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I feel so. On my family, we have maybe 2 or 3 families here in the States, and then everyone else is in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
And I try to go once a year. We're going in December actually this year.
Nice.
And it seems like every time I go, I always meet
more
2
and more.
or 3.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is your cousin. This
Yes,
is,
yes.
nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. And that's why at family parties like quinceañeras and stuff, I'm very cautious when it comes to like who am I gonna go dance with, right? No, I gotta make sure. Okay,
you're not related to anyone. Yeah,
we're probably cousins, so I'm gonna just sit back and
definitely.
I'll enjoy the open bar, but I'm not much about dancing when I go over there.
Yeah.
But no, we go once a year. My family. On my dad's side, we're home Oaxaca.
Okay.
My mom's side, we're from this town in Guanajuato.
Okay.
San Jose Iturbide. So it's always a blast because you get a little bit of everything. You have the big city in Guanajuato.
Nice.
You have still the small town vibe in Oaxaca,
Nice.
in Huajuapan. And you can't forget the small town vibe, right? Because that's where the parents, or at least my parents, grew up on. Like no street lights, like dirt roads. Like, had to walk.
And everybody knows each other.
Everybody knows each other. And that specific town, I was very impressed last year when I went. I finally noticed that every other building is people are self-employed down there.
Yeah,
it's very commercial. It's not like people work for Caterpillar and the whole town works there. It's like no, someone has
somebody makes
oil
the
changes,
cheese,
someone makes the cheese, someone changes tires, someone does this, someone does that. Everybody works for themselves down there.
Yeah,
so it's
definitely.
very very cool to see. So I'm looking forward to the trip again in December.
Nice.
Any future? I know you have your hands full with the construction, but any future trips or anything for you this year or next year?
Let me think. No. Well, see. Right now, I'm just 100% dedicated to goals. So I have some goals, some personal goals that I need to work out before I start traveling again.
You do? Okay.
So
sure,
I gotta get those goals done and out of the way so I could pursue some more vacationing. That would be nice.
Sure. We gotta fill the piggy bank up, right?
Yeah, we gotta. We're still, in case you can't see us maybe, but we're in our early 30s. So we're still trying to create our little dynasty. So we're just hard at work trying to build and trying to set up ourselves for retirement later on.
Exactly. And you know what? That's a huge thing that you touched on is that real estate can definitely set the tone for future generational wealth.
Yes.
And it's something that's I don't think it's talked about enough because sure you talk about having a home, but there's also the options of multi-units, right?
Correct.
So I had a buyer the other day that his very first home was a 2-unit building.
Nice.
So he is living in one, he's renting out the other.
Nice.
And I told him, I'm like, I don't see this a lot, but this is a very smart move.
Yes.
Because if you think about it, let's say your mortgage is, $1,400, right? And you charge, what's rent nowadays? $1,000, $1,100.
Depends where,
Depends where you live. So let's say it's $1,000. So your mortgage, $400.
Oh my God, yeah.
And the tenant pays the utilities, so you pay your own utilities. So let's call it $500 a month.
Yeah,
right?
that's so cheap.
And then it's paid off, and then you move out and you buy something else.
Yeah.
So now you have $1,000 up top, $1,000 at the bottom, $2,000 a month. Just
definitely.
And then your income, and then when you retire, it's just. I was at a closing the other day, and one of the sellers, I recognized the name on the final CD sheet, and it was a name that I've seen a few times. Because born and raised in Joliet, by the way, lived there all 31 years of my life.
Nice.
So you kind of start to see a lot of these big names of business owners and people with a lot of properties, and before mortgages, I was doing insurance, so the insurance company out of Joliet as well I worked out of, so I saw a lot of people that had their coverages, so you started to see these names, and the seller ended up being one of the people that I've seen, and at the closing, once we're all wrapped up, I say, hey, thanks so much for your congratulations on your sale. I don't know if you remember me, but I took care of your insurance a few years back. And he looks at me, he's like, of course I remember you. Yeah, of course. How's it going? How you been? So we catch up a little bit. But he goes, yeah, it's getting to that retirement age, and I have these properties, and he's like, I'm done being a landlord. I'm done, running around. Because being a landlord,
it could be exhausting too.
It takes up your time. And he goes, now I'm just going to sell them all, retire, travel the world with my life.
Beautiful.
And just live out my days just kind of traveling. And that's, when he said that, I was like, man.
Yes, we need to do the same thing, Johnny.
Let's do it. Let's go, because, at the end of the day, we're here for a little while, but, what you do now in your 20s and your 30s, will affect, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s.
Definitely.
So it was a nice little memory I just had. So, but no, you're right. Generational wealth. Again, whether it's a single family, 2-unit, what have you, the fact that you're putting money into something, I think is huge. Because you rent 5-10 years, and sure, some people need to rent because of either situations or jobs. But if you have the ability to, if you want to own a home, let's reach out to us. Reach out to Veronica or myself. And we'll get you going. So I think as far as on my end, I'm good. Any last thoughts or anything before we take off here?
Let me just think. What do I have to recommend?
Or one final message. Let's see. One final message. What's one solid advice that you want to give out to the public here on someone that's looking to buy or is not sure? What's the message?
My only advice is don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Everything's possible. I mean, so many people that think it takes $20,000 to buy a house, but it really doesn't. And, it's just a simple question. It doesn't take a lot. Just get informed, educate yourself, ask those questions. And if it might be the perfect situation for you, to whether buying an investment property or just a condo, whatever the situation is. Home ownership is one of the longest and most solid investments since the record of time. So if you're not an owner yet, don't be afraid. Reach out to us. Don't hesitate. And, we'll sit down with you, review everything. And trust me, I know Johnny for many years, so we're not going to force you to buy something. So if you're not ready, we understand it's not ready. Timing is everything. So if it's not your time, we're okay waiting, 5 more years, 3 more years, whatever the case may be. But don't be afraid. Reach out.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Ain't nothing to be scared about. So again, guys, thanks for joining us. Again, Veronica, I'm Johnny in the neighborhood. Thank you much for joining us. We will see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.